What's up and welcome back to the channel. I want to talk a bit today about the Panasonic G9 Mark II, and I guess really more specifically about Micro Four Thirds and how I might have jumped the gun a bit. I am filming today with my Action 5, and we'll get to that in a minute, why I chose to do that considering that I bought the Panasonic camera for the sole purpose of vlogging. You know, I bought the G9 Mark II because I thought it would be compact. I assumed, without doing a lot of research, that Micro Four Thirds would be the most compact of all cameras out there. And I thought that that would be primarily because of the lenses. And that is true. They are very, very compact lenses, especially the 42.5mm lens. What I didn't calculate in that equation was the size of the body. And the G9 Mark II body is super nice. Don't get me wrong, it's just built really, really, really well. Lots of nice features, feels good in the hand. Everything works well. Menu system's a little convoluted. Not the worst thing that I've ever seen, but it's not the most sensible. But back to the camera and being compact. That body, the G9 Mark II, is just so bulky for what it is. To have such a small sensor in the camera, the G9 Mark II is just, it's obtuse. And Panasonic doesn't seem to make anything where they shove a big, capable sensor platform into a small body. They seem to require that you get this pro body style to get pro body features, and I think there's definitely a market for that. Obviously there is. They wouldn't make it if there was not. But I really want something that is lightweight and compact and has a lot of quality and doesn't have to have as many features, but just a lot of quality. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I've really enjoyed shooting with the G9 Mark II, but over the remainder of the Christmas holiday, I made the mistake of looking around and doing some number crunching and found out that maybe a Canon camera might have been a better choice. And even more shocking, maybe a Canon full frame camera might have been a better choice. In particular, the Canon R8. So I bought one. I bought an R8, and it is incredibly compact. It weighs less than the Panasonic by a significant amount, and the lenses, at least the 16 and the 50, which is what I would use for vlogging, the 16 and 50 for normal perspective, kind of walk around shooting. Yeah, they're heavier maybe than the 9mm and the 25mm on the Panasonic, but not by much. It's not terrible. Now, they're not Leica co-branded lenses. They're not even L lenses. You know, they have to have digital correction, but they're decent lenses. They look pretty good. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk back to the truck, and I'm going to get the R8 out of the truck, slap the 16mm on the front of it, and do a vlogging test. And I thought it would be nice to have compared it to, you know, an entry-level vlogging setup like this, which is the Action 5 Pro on a GoPro selfie swing, I don't know what you call this, selfie tripod thing. I don't even have any more GoPro stuff, but I still have this selfie tripod deal, and I thought I'd give it a shot. I haven't used it. I got it as a Christmas gift, and or maybe it was a birthday gift. I can't recall, and I never used it, so I was thinking today I'd give it a shot and see how I like this. You know, maybe use it for a lightweight run and gun setup when I'm on the motorcycle if I, you know, because I don't know where I'm going to end up with my vlogging setup. So without further ado, let's go get the R8. What's up, y'all? There we go. We are filming and vlogging with the Canon R8 camera. This is my first vlogging experience with this camera, and I'm really curious to see how it goes. It's heavier, obviously, than the little bitty DJI camera I was toting around earlier, and I always forget how heavy these stupid things are. And by things, I'm talking about mirrorless setups. It is lighter weight than the Panasonic. I don't have the exact notes in front of me because I'm walking around in the woods talking to you, but it is lighter. I am running the 16mm F2.8 lens. I have it wide open. There's no ND filter. And I'm running the digital stabilization in this camera. So as you may know, the R8 has no built-in optical, mechanical type stabilization. It is all digital, so it's basically like GoPro style stabilization. So it's going to be cropping in on the frame a little bit and using accelerometer data to basically stabilize the crop. Now, one of the things I'm curious about is, am I getting any of that weird purple blobby lens flare behind me that I got with the 9mm f1.7 on the G9 Mark II? I don't see any. That's a good sign. And I'm also curious about the trees. Are they too wobbly? Are we getting a lot of jello? A lot of wide angle distortion type effects? You know, I thought I was going to get some in the last video I did with the G9 Mark II, and I was shocked that I didn't. And my theory is it's because I had the shutter speed up so high. I think once you bring your shutter speed down, let's say if you're shooting 30 frames a second and you want to bring your shutter speed down to 1/60th, I think you're going to get some of that wobble. But I don't know. If you know the answer to that, save me some time and tell me in the comments. Now, I never was a Canon guy. I was always a Nikon nerd, and I really thought about maybe buying a Nikon Z6 Mark III and getting rid of the Z6. But this camera, it packs so much punch for the money. I got it for $1,000 on sale. And I think I paid about $150 for that lens that I'm running right now. And you know, at that price point, how could you spend $2,400 for the things that I want to do on a Z6 Mark III? And it's heavier. You know, I was really shocked that this camera was a lot lighter weight than the G9. I'm also curious about the depth of field separation between the background and the subject, and of course the subject in this case is me. When I ran the numbers, it seemed like I remember seeing that the G9 Mark II with a 9mm f1.7 at f1.7 and held at this distance, which is about 20 inches from my face, I want to say it might have had less depth of field and a little more separation, at least on paper. Now, that's also considering the crop factor on both of these cameras. And by crop factor, I'm not talking about punching in on the sensor. I'm talking about the fact that at 16:9 format, you're not using on this camera the full height of the sensor. And on 16:9 on the G9 Mark II, you're using or throwing away even more the height of the sensor because that sensor is more squarish than a full frame sensor. I'll put the numbers up on the screen right now of what the depth of field should be. Smaller numbers would indicate more separation in theory, but you know, that's theory, and I don't have any idea what that translates to in reality. I know that when I saw Camera Conspiracies compare like crop sensor to full frame, and I can't remember if he was using micro 4/3 versus full frame or if it was APS-C versus full frame. I can't remember. But I seem to remember, you know, full frame won even when it should have been the same. And again, I don't remember the particulars of that test. And that is really why I bought this camera. You know, I thought I was going to do micro 4/3. I thought I was going to do full frame be for photography, M4.3 for video. And then I found this camera and I'm thinking, well, if I can make it work for me, where I have access to the Canon L lenses for photography, lightweight lenses for kind of run and gun video, for vlogging, motorcycle trips, etc., maybe I could just have one camera. I wouldn't need two systems anymore. And it does kind of pain me a bit to think about leaving Nikon. I mean, I have spent so many years shooting Nikon and I'm used to the ergonomics. I'm not used to the ergonomics on this camera at all, but I'm used to Nikon. I'm used to the way their lenses look. I'm used to working with their files. I mean, I started with them all the way back with a, it was before the D200, but I can't remember what it was. And here I am shooting Canon and thinking about switching. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling. I know some of you guys are rolling your eyes right now, but I mean, when you are a Nikon person, it's weird to think about shooting Canon after all the years and all the time that you didn't like Canon's files, you didn't like their lenses, but those were different times. And back then, money was not as plentiful. Not that I'm rolling in it now, but I didn't have the budget to go buy L lenses. Fast forward 10 years. Also consider that L lenses are very, very cheap now for the EF, at least comparative to what they were 10 years ago. Yeah, I can enjoy some L glass. And it's amazing glass, even on the RF. You know, they have RF native lenses, but the L glass is beautiful on this camera. I did buy a 35 f1.4 L already. I always wanted one. Stunning lens, stunning lens. And I don't even like the 35 f1.4 perspective that much, but the way that lens transitions in and out of focus, it's just gorgeous. It really, really is spectacular, spectacular hunk of glass. Now I'm wondering if I'm lost. Did I make a wrong turn? Let's see where I'm at. No, it says I'm walking the right way. Sorta. Not exactly sure. I should be heading the right way. So y'all, that's pretty much it for this video. Do let me know in the comments below what you think about the quality from the R8 in a vlogging situation with the 16mm f2.8. Is it nice? Am I getting a good separation between me and the background, even as close as that tree is? I can almost touch it. How is the focus? And if you spend any time with the R8 vlogging, what lens do you use and how do you like it? I'm curious. Hopefully the audio of this camera is good. I am losing battery, it looks like, and that is a R8 problem. So until next time, y'all, have fun out there.